Hello, this is Rebekah Lane with Embracing the Bold, the Valencia College School of Arts and Entertainment and Design Radio Hour. And we are here today to talk about all of the amazing humans that make up the School of Arts and Entertainment and Design and those artists, students, faculty, and staff behind those projects. Today on our show, we have the cast of The Artist and the Scientist, which is our next play reading sponsored by the theater and musical theater programs. But before we get started, I would like to remind you that we have a full arts season ahead of us. And that starts with this weekend, The Artist and the Scientist. It's by Jenny Stafford. The reading on the 21st starts at 7:30 p.m. The reading on Sunday, the 22nd, starts at 2 p.m. And a bonus is this is your very last opportunity to see the art exhibit Vanishing Florida. So you can get 2 experiences for 1 trip out to Valencia College East. Now, at the same time, we have Marianne Carroll's First Lady of the Highwaymen. That gallery is showing on the Osceola campus in Building A through the end of this week as well. And we have our Florida Museum of Cursed Artifacts, a haunted attraction, opens on Friday, October 27th, and plays through October 31st. On October 31st, we have the Symphonic Jazz Band concert, or Symphonic and Jazz Band playing a concert, and that is at 11:30 a.m. These concerts, the Halloween concerts, are just fantastic. The musicians and our band directors dress up in wonderful Halloween costumes, and it is themed music. I really strongly recommend. It's a fantastic afternoon out. And then we have an entire span of more opportunities happening starting in November. So we have the faculty fine arts show, we have the choreographer showcase, and then we have a slew of winter holiday music concerts, all coming up, all leading us through the end of the fall semester. But today we have the cast of The Artist and the Scientist. So what I am going to ask is that each of them introduce themselves individually. And when you introduce yourself, please tell us the role that you're playing in the show.
Hi, I'm Luke Villeneuve. I am playing Creativity.
Hi, I'm Olivia Coneline. I'm playing the artist.
Hi, my name is Marco Aguero, and I'm playing the scientist.
Hi, I'm Naira Bean, and I'm playing the narrator.
Hello, I'm Marissa Medina, and I will be Logic.
Fantastic. So thank you for joining us today. Full disclosure, I am directing this reading. So I am a little differently invested than in some of our other interviews. But Ensemble, can you tell me what this show is about? Pop quiz.
Do the artist and the scientist want to?
Sure, why not? So the show is it's about this couple, the artist and the scientist, and it's basically a moment frozen in time that's supposed to be around 5 minutes, and the play goes through a bunch of backstory, goes around highlighting different points in their relationship and, different things here and there. At the same time, there are 2 other characters named Creativity and Logic, and they each they each inhibit the artist and the scientist, each attributing itself to one, how it seems. Logic mostly, sticks around with the scientist. Creativity usually sticks around with the artist. You want to take this away? Explain some more? Go for it.
Sure. So yeah, like Marco said, it's a love story between the artist and the scientist going through their careers and different things that they're going through. And it's a very interesting and heartwarming and very, not gonna lie, very sad show. I highly recommend you come and see it. Maybe shed some tears. I'll shed them with you, 100%. Yeah.
Well, and so there's an inciting incident, right? So what we meet the characters, and then there's something pretty big that happens very quickly. What happens?
Oh, do we want to say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the inciting incident.
Okay.
The scientist proposes to the artist.
Okay. And does her answer come immediately?
Oh God, no! It takes
Not at all.
Takes
especially
the
not
entire
for us.
play.
About,
Takes the
it takes
entire
about an
musical.
hour for her to give an answer.
Yeah.
Like, like when I read like I think in the auditions it said this entire play takes place within 5 minutes. I was like, okay, but that it's not gonna feel like it. It does not feel like 5 minutes. The entire 5 minutes feels like we were reading the play through the first like read through of the script, and I was like, I cannot believe this is still 5 minutes. Like, oh, we're traveling back in time to this. It just it reminded me of the last 5 years. If anyone's
Yeah.
seen that musical,
Yeah.
Okay.
movie
So
wasn't
what
great,
about
but
it makes you think of the last 5 years?
just that like you're basically shown the result of their relationship after it has started already. Like you check in with the artist and the scientist after all this stuff has happened. So once the scientist pops the question, you're brought to these different points in time that define their relationship and how they got to where they are. And like for me, like at least I started to wonder, like, because the artist and scientist, their characteristics, their values, they don't align. Like in my opinion,
Okay. And what do you mean they don't align?
like the artist really values just, well, not to sound, she values creativity, but like.
This is coming from the person who's playing creativity.
And like I could never imagine the scientist ever being into personally the things that the artist is into, and vice versa. So I started to wonder like why are they together. Then the story goes along, and I'm like, oh, so like yeah.
Which we see that all in the play with how the interactions are, and even moments between the scientist and creativity. There is a little moment there. We see the disconnect and the disconnect between the artist and logic as well. It's very interesting.
Okay, so there's a disconnect between the artist and logic. There seems to be a disconnect between the artist and her partner. Okay, the artist and the scientist. There might be a disconnect.
I personally saw it as like two people that are dating each other, and the creativity and logic are like their best friends. Like their partners don't get along with their best friends, but they get along with their partners. So it's like it's kind of that relationship, you know.
Okay. Well, and so we also have Logic here with us today.
Hello. Definitely, I think pride plays a big role in the theme with the show and the characters. It definitely is something that artists and scientists hold closely to them. Creativity and logic are definitely that, I would say, safety blanket for the characters. And that's where the whole pridefulness comes in with their work and their like the feeling of safety that comes with routine and being so prideful about something that you know you're good at, kind of thing, you know?
Nice. This idea of the artist has worked with creativity and she has become a very good artist, and the scientist has worked with logic and has become a very good scientist. And yeah, does that sound
Yes.
Yeah.
sound right?
Definitely.
And they take pride in their work.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like because they take so much pride in their work, like that's why it's like fear to like just go away from or navigate off of it. Because you know they're used to what they're used to, and so because they're used to it, it's hard to like step out of it, especially because there was that foundation when they were younger of like, you know, creativity and logic, and like that's like their getaway.
Nice. So we've got investment in our work, but we also have our work as what? Like our coping mechanisms too.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got two people who have invested in very specific careers, and those tools of that career also help them get through life.
Yeah, it basically like becomes their identity at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. And does that change like the way they see the world?
Yes.
Yes.
Quite
Yeah.
literally.
Heavily, very heavily.
Everyone else.
Yeah. Well, and this brings us to so first of all, this is part of our reading series. So this is not going to be a fully staged production, which means we haven't had a lot of rehearsal. So what are your thoughts on that?
Ooh. I would like to say, like, because I've been in like a lot of productions. This is the first one where I've had only about like 6 rehearsals to do, and to be quite honest, I love that.
Oh yeah, what do you love about it?
It's putting itself in the hands of the actors, and the material, and it's just like, be these people, go. And then it's like you got to learn the music, and then you got to. But since you only have 6 weeks,
6 weeks?
6 rehearsals. You probably have like
That'd be
3
nice.
weeks. I feel like it's putting itself into the actors more than it is like anything else I've ever done. It's like, especially since this is a new work. It's not like we can go on YouTube and see, oh yeah, Jeremy Jordan did this a few months ago. Like, no, you can't do that. Yeah. You make it your own, and it feels like a little bit of me is in the character that I portray, mainly because I've never seen another actor portray this character.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a really good point. So it is a reading, and it is not a well-known musical.
Yes, I think there's something very special about that too. Kind of like what Luke said, that you feel like there's a part of you in your character, and the way that you can just open something and it be completely unknown and new to you, you get to really mold it into something that is authentically you rather than, like you said, Jeremy Jordan.
Yeah.
So definitely, like, it's a different experience for me and something new. Kind of in that same sense where I did Sharknami and I was like, oh, this is something I've never heard of. I felt like it's something that I could really take and mold as my own rather than be a copy of someone else.
Nice. Well, that's and how does that? Because a lot of times we do plays that we've never seen anybody else do. Is that less frequent with musicals, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think with musicals, people don't like to like if they get familiar with the music, then yes. But I feel like new musicals. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like directors are less likely to hear a new musical and be like, yeah, I'd totally do this, rather than something they're familiar with already and know how it like usually looks and something like that.
Okay. Do you think audiences would come out for a new musical?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that a lot of times we choose musicals to be like the headliners. Yeah. Because it's a more expensive production, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time you've got the music and the choreography and the costumes and a larger cast, although this is a smaller cast, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you guys think about the music?
It's very different.
Yeah.
I
So
would say.
so what makes it different?
It's definitely a challenge in some parts, especially when it comes to learning it without any sort of thing that we can listen to. It's something unique because for one, we don't really have that many like tracks to like listen to go off of. So we're kind of like learning it like just like old style, piano and sheet music. So but the music is very it's very what's the word? In some cases like introspective, like you really see these characters, you really see what they think and how they think, and then later in the show you figure out why they think this way.
Well, and so how is that being showcased in the music?
I feel like I don't know who said it. I'm so sorry. Someone in the cast or either you or Dr. Lane said it. I feel like it's abstract in the way that most musicals, you can hear a song and you're like, oh, this verse is going to repeat and you're going to hear this later in the song. It's a lot less like that with this one, because a lot of the songs here, it's like, I think some of them don't even rhyme. I think, like from what I like, we have this one song and the notes go like down, then up, then down, and then way up, and it doesn't go back there, and it's really frustrating when you're doing it, like when you're learning it. It's you're like because we'd sometimes we'd have to like try to sight read it on our first try, and then he'd play a high note, and we're like, where did that come from?
Yeah. You can also tell by the tempo and like how fast the song goes. Like especially with the angry songs mainly, there's a bunch of like angst because it's like a rock musical.
Yeah.
The characters get really angry and it's just their raw emotion that the lyrics are basically. It's very interesting. And then towards the end there are the songs slow down and you get the more saddened side. So just by like how fast the song goes and even the lyrics, yes, they don't rhyme. It's very strange, but at the same time, I guess it's just like stream of consciousness spewing out whatever in the moment, if that makes sense.
That is so true. That reminds me like the show, it has a really calm and gentle like intro, and the beginning of the show is just really calm and gentle. And then creativity and the artist have this one song called Blank, comes out of nowhere, turns into a rock musical, and you don't expect it, and it's so funny because you don't get a lead up or anything. It's Blank.
It's just vamp. It's literally just vamp of like I don't even dun 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 dun, and then it's here's the note, your singular word, your singular note. And
Oh yeah, comes out of
crazy.
nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the songs sounds like the songs are very emotive. Sounds like they really reveal a lot of the inner life of the characters. Okay. And it sounds like some of them are very surprising.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you find interesting about the music?
Well, what I find interesting is not only how wordy it can be. Some songs are full of expressive words and kind of what we just, spoke about. But it definitely carries a different tune. I feel like we stick to that tune of See the World throughout the show, but at the same time, a lot of shows, especially modern ones that you would see on Broadway right now, you hear a song and you're like, oh, I've heard that before, but no, like this one is very unique. It's not something that you would be like, oh yeah, definitely, this is the one. So it's been so interesting to learn like just music that way, and it's been a challenge and it's pretty interesting.
Nice. So do you feel like you're learning anything on this?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what is the learning that you're doing? Like what is like, this is new.
Not all musicals are created equal. I definitely think I learned to never think you're prepared to go into a musical you've never heard before.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good lesson.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So is this harder than you thought it'd be?
A little bit, at least coming with like the songs, I would definitely say. Just because of just how they are. You can't even predict like what the next note's going to be. Like that's how random it is. Like you think you have a flow, like, oh yeah, this makes sense. And then it could be like, oh, you think it's gonna be here? Oh no, it's gonna be all the way up here. And it's out of nowhere. And I'm like, girl, why did you do that to me? I'm understanding, and then you quickly don't understand.
All right. So you feel like some of the melodies are going into really unexpected places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's really creatively interesting. It's hard. But once you get it, that's creatively interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So the melodies are going to places that you totally don't expect. And it sounds like the learning process has been different simply because you can't go listen to the original Broadway soundtrack.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is no.
Because there is no original Broadway soundtrack.
Yeah.
There are some recordings on Jenny's website and on a SoundCloud that we have access to, but it's not all of them. So it does make it a bit difficult to work with and then learn from. But at the same time, it's very interesting because then if you don't have the recordings, you can make it your own. You don't have to like work to, oh, she's singing it this way, I have to sing it that way, if that makes sense.
Right. So you don't feel like you have to interpret it the way the original Broadway cast interpreted it.
Yeah.
So it kind of frees you up to your own interpretation.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that sounds pretty exciting, actually. Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you guys have a favorite song?
Yes.
What is So Luke has a favorite song, but Luke's been doing a lot of talking.
that's true.
Does anybody else have a favorite song?
I do personally. The Scientist has a solo song called Eternalism, and not just because it's my song. Like, I'm not gonna be that person. It's like, oh, it's my song. It's my favorite. But I genuinely like what he's singing. What he's saying. So he should I say this? Is it like a spoiler? I don't know.
Go ahead and say it.
All right. So after the scientist proposes to the artist, she says no at one point, and essentially rejects him, and he decides to tell her about this theory that exists. It's called eternalism. It's the idea that every single moment in time is constantly existing and has existed forever, ever since time began. So he's saying that, and in the song he says, even though you're leaving me, somewhere in some place at some point in time, there's a me who is happy, and that is enough for me to be happy with. And that's just sort of that thing where he's accepting his heartbreak, but he's using it to move on. Like, even in that one moment, like, doing it it's really interesting. Like, I just, like, never would have thought of it like that, I really enjoy the things he says and the words he sings and the way the entire melody in the song just comes together. It's a very beautiful piece.
That's lovely. So you are struck totally by the concept and the words.
Yeah,
And then you are really enjoying the way the music supports that concept.
exactly.
Does the music add a depth that the words don't add?
I would say that the music more backs it up. It more amplifies the words he's saying in the, in the way that he goes into these notes. Just the music swells and the music dies down. It's just to emphasize the words that he's saying. Really.
Ooh, that sounds lovely. So thank you. Marco has a favorite song, Eternalism. Any other favorite songs?
I'm not exactly sure what the song is, but it was the one that they were like talking about their childhood, and you had like Logic and Creativity like introducing themselves in their lives. I don't really remember.
See the world.
Yeah, See the World. Yeah. I really like that song just because of the fact, like, it really just you just figure out, like, how it all came to be, and like, the development of, their personalities and everything like that. And it kind of brings like a heartwarming effect because, you see like what they struggled with, and it really makes it emotional. So you be like, you connect to the characters, and you see like, okay, like, oh, like that's why they were feeling this way, and oh, that's why they were feeling that way. So yeah.
Oh, nice. So it sounds like that song kind of helps them become three-dimensional.
Yeah.
So do we have a lot of three-dimensional characters in this, or are they flat? Because sometimes in musical theater you get like characters that are there for a narrative purpose, but sometimes the script doesn't give you whole people.
I feel like Creativity and Logic are kind of still flat. Like, you don't really get to know them like that much as because I feel like it's more focused on artists and scientists, and Creativity and Logic is just like there, to help them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you guys feel too?
I feel like it's still. Sorry, I don't really want to. I feel like it still provides some sort of thing for Creativity and Logic, because although they both have their reasons for either wanting to keep the scientists and artists apart or keep them together or whatever, they have more than just. Oh man, I forgot the words. Luke, you want to take this over?
I actually kind of want to hear.
Where were we? So as for like Creativity and Logic, I could definitely see where it is harder to kind of see their personalities. But in a way, I feel like it's for the audience to kind of have their own interpretation. especially because, you know, the names, creativity, logic, artists, they don't have names. And it kind of reminds me of some like films that we have now in modern day, like the movie Mother. You don't have established names because it leaves room for interpretation and not like, oh, this is Sarah. I know a Sarah. Sarah wouldn't do this kind of thing. But definitely it just leaves that room to think like, oh, I'm getting tongue-tied, but you could go.
Yeah, so basically I like to think that while creativity and logic, like, I mean, nobody really has a name in this show. Scientists and the artist are still scientists and the artist. Creativity and logic aren't exactly professions. But like in Into the Woods, you have the baker's wife. Baker's wife doesn't even have a name, and she doesn't even have her own name. She's borrowing Baker from Baker. It's like whatever. But they still are characters. They're still way more than two-dimensional. Creativity and logic to me aren't two-dimensional because I think a lot about like how creativity feels, how logic feels about certain things. But I will say it's primarily focused on the scientists and the artists. And creativity and logic's like, I want to say character arc or their other dimensions are saved for later in the show, at least in my perspective.
Period. Yes, I was definitely agreeing with that. I think there's this moment. I don't want to spoil it, but there's this moment with actually with both sides, like with creativity and artists, and definitely with logic and scientists. There's this sweet moment where you kind of see that softer side of both of them, and I don't know. It's super touching. It's almost like the way I interpret the character Logic is just literally logical, just finding that comfort in routine, scheduling, but also like a motherly side almost. Because, I mean, they're everything to them. They're mothers, they're fathers, they're protectors, friend. So there's that moment where it's just, you know, hey, stop. Like, let's think this over. Let's work this out. Instead of, you know, the usual, like, this, that, you know, 1, 2, 3. So, yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me, like, because we were reading the script for the first time, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's this one part where it's like, creativity says something, and I'm like, oh, he's not just like a fifth dimensional being. Like, he's not just he's not just like the physical embodiment of creativity. He is a person. And you hear that one line he says that I'm thinking about, and it like hits, and it's like, whoa. It's like, yeah.
All right. Okay, so what are your backgrounds? Like, how did you find us here at Valencia? Like, have you so let's one at a time. Like, what is your experience in theater? Where'd you go to high school? And what brings you here to this moment?
That's deep.
Deep, right? Yeah.
That's deep.
We can start down there and just work our way down there.
Yeah, probably.
Valencia specifically, or in theater? Like,
Well, I mean, eventually Valencia specifically. Okay. Why are you here? But like, what is your purpose in life?
Okay, so no offense to Boone High School. I think you guys have an amazing school. So but my sister went to Boone, and I was supposed to go to Boone, but I didn't want to go to Boone because I don't know why specifically. It was like 8th grade angst or something. My parents were like, you're gonna go to Boone, and I was like, I don't wanna. So I auditioned for University High School's magnet program, and I got in somehow. I did a monologue from Hamilton. As my audition, and I got in. So I've been doing theater since like freshman year, and then like college hit, and I was like, maybe I should take a break for a bit because I've been doing theater nonstop for the past 4 years, and then like I want to say 5 people from like the magnet program that graduated the same year as me like got roles in their colleges, and I was like, no, I'm bored. I want to do something. So then I had to choose between this and then I think 2 other things to audition for. And I think I liked this project the most when I read it. So then I auditioned, and here we are.
Awesome. So have you done a lot of musical theater before?
Oh, yes. I've been doing musical theater since sophomore year. But in sophomore year, we didn't have a show because COVID had just hit, and we didn't know what we were going to do with masks and musicals. So we saved it till junior year to have a musical theater show.
And so what's your musical training? Like, do you read sheet music? Do you play an instrument?
The way we did it at university, at least, was basically back in freshman year, I took, this wasn't connected to university, but I took a few months of voice lessons. But like I said, COVID hit, and I had to stop doing that. When I did musical theater at university, we would my teacher at the time, Mr. Mendez, he would play the notes on the piano. The notes would show you how it's supposed to sound like, and then the teacher would sing along with us. Then he would let us sing it by ourselves. Usually I was in ensemble, but my senior year I had a few solos that I had to look up the Broadway versions of them to know the notes. Weird thing is, though, sometimes there's a difference between Broadway and what you have at your high school. So yeah. I got for Beauty and the Beast for the first few for the first 2 months, I had the notes wrong to like my one duet, and I had no idea. So when they just put us up there with the orchestra right in front of us, and it was like, because I played Marie, so it was just me and Belle next to me. Belle was doing her part perfectly, and then I was singing a different note than the orchestra, so I had to.
No!
I was just like, I felt so bad because we were double casted. There was 2 Marises, so we sang at the same time. Funny thing is, though, we sung the same notes. It was just really off with the orchestra, so it was a little bit off. So like the music, the way they taught music there, was like a little like different to me than like how we're learning music now.
Okay, so you were learning music by listening to the cast recording, and just kind of your training.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, cool. And what classes are you taking theater or music or musical theater classes here at Valencia?
I was initially, when I was thinking about college back in senior year, I was like, okay, I love theater, but I think I should try to get a degree in something practical. And then, no offense. No, I'm sorry. I feel bad.
Wow. No, it's fine.
I'm sorry.
That is a legit conversation.
So,
that was low.
But as I've been learning with this is gonna sound sweet. As I've been learning with the cast and doing this musical, I really think that I'm just gonna put 100% into doing what I love. And to my knowledge, this is the only thing that I feel this good doing. I've talked to Dr. Lane about it, and he introduced me to some music people here at the school. I don't know their official work job name, so music people is what we're gonna call them. He was like, we're gonna go talk to them, and I was like, yeah. So he brought me down the hall from where we rehearse, and he opened the door, and he introduced me, and then he was like, here you go, and he left. And I talked to them for a bit, and now that I'm familiar with what a music track would look like, I feel like I'm going to be taking musical theater classes starting next year. But as of right now, I'm just taking theater classes.
Slay.
All right, and he is, full disclosure, Luke is in my acting 1 class. So you are currently taking at least 1 acting class.
Yes.
All right, Olivia, you're up.
So I'm actually from New York, and we moved when I started middle school. We didn't have any opportunities really at my public school in New York. So learning that theater was a thing, there was just drama club posters posted in my middle school, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I'm a join, see what it's about. I joined, and I've been stuck in it ever since. I haven't escaped. I love it very much. I did it at my high school. I'm not also from Orlando. I was originally from 2 hours south in Stewart. Shout out to Martin County High School. I hope y'all are doing okay over there. We had a heck of a ride. COVID hit my freshman year, so we did musicals and plays, but we had to stop, and we lost that director. She had to resign to take care of her family. And then I don't know where she is now. Shout out to Miss Pastore. I believe she's traveling all over the country. Then sophomore year came, great. New director. He was pretty chill. He was from Miami, and he was making the 2-hour drive every day from Miami to Stewart.
Ooh.
And he had to resign at the end of the year for health problems because of the drive. Then junior year happened. New director. Yay. Can you sense the pattern here? It keeps going. That was a whole mess and a half. It was a very challenging time, but we got through it. She was no longer with the school at the end of the year. Then we had a new director. Yay. Long story short, she also left at the end of my senior year.
Oh my goodness. So you
teaching at
had
another
a
school.
new theater
A
teacher
new director
every year?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm used to working with other directors in different styles at this point, which is so nice and helpful in an industry like this. But boy, is it stressful. It's very, very stressful, but it is also a lot of fun. I know they have a new director now. I hope they're doing well over there. I don't keep really much in contact, but yeah.
Well, cool. And so what kind of theater training did you have? Sounds like all over the place, but
Yeah. So we had straight plays and musicals and one-act competitions that I was a part of. I never had like a full like quote-unquote classical training, I guess. I was in choir my freshman year. But guys, you'll never believe what that teacher also left at the end of the year.
Oh, no.
So I then stopped choir, which I do regret, just at least when we were working with the musical here. But yeah, so taught during my acting class that I stuck with and learning from experience pretty much. Yeah.
awesome. And what is your musical training?
By ear or non-existent, really.
All right.
Yeah.
That's okay. Cool. Thank you. And what brought you to Valencia?
I really don't know. I'm gonna be so honest. It's a community college, and it wasn't by me. I wanted to get out. I wanted to be on my own, and this was an option. So I took it and ran. And now I'm here doing The Artist and the Scientist and The Haunted House. If you want to come see it, you should come see it. And it's a fun little opportunity to do, 100%. I do appreciate this opportunity you have given me and hoping to do more in the future.
Nice. And did you come here planning to major in theater, or do you anticipate your major being something else, or like what is your plan?
I'm currently in the AA General Studies track.
Mm-hmm.
I can graduate in the spring with my AA completely because I had so many credits coming out of high school.
Cool.
So I really just needed like 8 more classes or something in order to like fully have that. And then the plan is to do a BA in not musical theater per se, but like acting or theater acting in general. The goal is to be on the big screen or on TV. Musical theater is too much on my poor little knees.
Oh,
Yeah.
but your goal is to go into film acting.
Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. And are you taking theater classes here? Did I ask you that?
I am not taking any theater classes.
So no music classes and no theater classes right here, right now.
Correct. All my electives were taken up by different things from my high school transfer over here. So I'm just in the hardcore general studies.
Awesome. All right. Olivia, thank you. Marco, you are up. So what did you do before here? What was your theater training, music training?
Well, I've been doing shows since I was a kid. I think my first show-ish thing was probably 8 or 9 years old. I'm not too sure. I've been doing it. It was at a community theater, Central Florida Community Arts. That was years ago, of course. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I stayed with them all the way from, I think, maybe second grade to my 9th grade year. So I was there for a long time, and I did a bunch of shows, a bunch of junior shows, mostly, you know, growing up. So you got like Aladdin Jr., Jungle Book Jr., things of that nature, and it was very fun. And so it's sort of where I started to figure out that I actually like doing singing and dancing. I think in my 4th grade year I had a role I was Charlie in Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. I forget the name of the stage production. I forget the specific name, but anyways, I was Charlie, and that was my first like lead. That was my first like role where I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So in terms of like experience, I've been doing it for a long time, and just been doing it for a while.
Nice. Now, did you take like theater and music classes in your high school, or was it primarily through CFC Arts?
No, I did in high school, in middle school as well. In middle school, I took all 3 years chorus. I even took band.
What'd you play?
I played the French horn.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a very, very big instrument, and I was a very tiny kid, so I didn't have a lot of fun. But anyways,
Oh no.
I digress. So yeah, I took all 3 years chorus. I took musical theater my 8th grade year, and then in high school, all 4 years musical theater and chorus, and I also took like music theory at the end of my senior year. So I had all those compiled up.
All right. So you've done a little bit of musical training.
Mm-hmm.
Actually sounds like a lot of musical training.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've done a lot of musical training. You've done a lot of theater training. And so how long have you been here at Valencia?
This is my 4th term here, technically, because I took the summer term. Yeah, so this is my 4th term here. Yeah, so it's like a year and a half, kind of. Yeah. That's basically what
Okay,
it is.
a year and a half.
Yeah.
And are you currently taking, why did you choose Valencia?
I in Seminole County, the other choice would be SSC, and I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't want to go where other people from my schools had gone. So I was like, let's go to Valencia. Let's go to completely different, side of the world. I have to drive like an hour to get here, but I enjoy it. It's just, and I just decided like, I want to get my, another thing that actually brought me here was the direct connect to UCF.
Mm-hmm.
So my plan is to, after I get my AA, after I get all my credits that I need to, and then I can like audition for the BFA program at UCF and, see if I get in,
Nice. And so you hope to major in
musical theater.
musical theater.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Great. And so what classes are you taking here to prepare you for that?
Currently I'm in music theory 2, in script analysis. I'm even doing contemporary ensemble. I'm doing what else? Oh man, some other classes. Things that theater-based things and.
Okay. So it sounds like you're really taking advantage of the classes
Yeah.
available.
Correct.
Very cool. All right. And when would you audition? So you would hope to be in the musical theater program when?
So that's one plan was to try and audition now and then see how my credits line up and everything. But if I can't really do it this for the next semester, when is this fall? Yes. Technically, these auditions would be for, I think, either the next semester or the next year. So
fall 2024.
Correct. That might be what they were for. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got to keep looking into it. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The auditions would be, you would audition in January, sometime between January and March. And if you were accepted, you would start August 2024.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. All right. Your turn.
All right, so I've been living here in Florida for about almost 3 years now, but I'm originally from Michigan. So up in Michigan, I really didn't have like a lot of experience with theater. I was really interested in it, especially with acting. I always, found it interesting, and that was something I was really just like I wanted to like get to know about. And so, when I was younger, like the middle school, because I switched middle schools and everything like that, and I didn't really like, I would audition for things, but it wasn't really like a vivid like opportunity for me to like get to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I really want to try this. And I see like people like doing it, and I'm like, I want to, when is my time? So then we finally moved to Florida, and I moved in Winter Haven. And so I went to Winter Haven High School, and I started there my junior year, and I really wanted to audition for the play that they had. They had a fall play, but I didn't audition for that. And they had a musical, and I didn't audition for it either, but I was like so upset, like I didn't, but it was like a bunch of things going on at the time, so I really couldn't. But then senior year comes around, and that's when I auditioned for the fall play, and I was like really happy about it. I got like one of the main leads, and I was like really shocked because that was my first time like ever getting to like a production. And so that was a really fun opportunity. And I was like, it's just really interesting just like seeing people do theater, like actually being around people. And like people in theater, I feel like are really like welcoming. And so it just made it even more fun for me. And so then the spring comes and we do a musical as well. And I auditioned for that, and I got a part of the ensemble. And so I was really happy about that because, I prefer mostly just like actual plays more than musicals, but I also like really enjoy watching musicals. And so that's why I really wanted something to be a part of that. And so after that, so then moving on to going to Valencia, it was like, it wasn't a first choice really because I really couldn't figure out where I wanted to go, to be honest. I was like, I don't know. I didn't know. And so there was like a community college like in my city, but I said I didn't want to go there because, I want to meet new people. And Orlando is like a place of like, bunch of opportunities. So I decided to apply to Valencia, and my friend was telling me about it as well. And so I saw like on their website, like what performing arts and everything like that. And I said, it seems like they take it like really seriously. Like at least they, they show like, it's something that they value. And so when I got here, I was like meeting professors and everything, and like seeing how like, the arts program is just really invested in getting to, the students, getting them to get to where they want to go. And so I really loved that. And it was just something like, I feel like it's just super encouraging. So me being here, I've been learning a lot, and I feel like, I'm just here to learn. And like the main goal is to be able to get more into theater, see more about theater and everything, and also just just learn about everything, see where I want to go, so that when I do want to go, because my main goal is to just become an actress and on the screen and be able to direct and produce as well, because I just really love, like, I like writing, so I like I would love to like just make my own film. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you chose Valencia because of the arts programming.
Yes.
That's awesome. And what are you taking any arts classes right now?
Yeah, so I'm taking acting 1 with Jenny Koff. So I'm taking that right now, and I'm really enjoying it. I remember my first day, I was like, oh my gosh, like I love this class, like it's nice. And so that was really fun, and I hope to take like more, because I was like figuring out about all these other classes that they have. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to take that next semester, because like it was really interesting. So yeah.
Nice. So it sounds like you had a little bit of theater training in high school.
Yeah.
Did you take theater classes?
Yeah. So I took theater 1 my junior year, and then I took theater 2 my senior year.
Awesome. So you did a couple of acting classes, and then you were in a couple of shows, and so now you're here.
Yeah. So I don't really have like that much musical experience, but I still I really want to like get better at singing, and like right now I'm doing like singing lessons a little bit. But yeah, so
that's awesome. All right, we have one more actor here today to introduce themselves.
Hello. So it all started when I was singing at my church when I was 3. And I can't remember much, but I know that I was always big into like putting on a show for other people. I was like the family clown. Like I would always like just do ridiculous stuff. I would watch Maury like on TV with my mom and just like act out the scenes. So I've always had that like interest towards performing. I never really knew what musical theater was. My first show that I really saw on TV was Phantom of the Opera, the film with Emma and yes, forgot the names of the cast, but that's where I was introduced to musical theater initially. So then I went on to middle school and I did choir. I was placed in band, but I was like, no, this is not what I was looking for. So I went to choir, and I was really happy that I finally was able to sing, because I would sing in talent shows in elementary school, and I would have a field day. I love the microphone. So I took choir it was Eric Winger is his name, and I did chamber choir. I did I forgot what it's called, like district competition in middle school. So then in high school, like that's when I continued to do choir with Peter Rodrigues, and that's in freshman year is when I got into advanced choir. And I got to go to New York, which is really cool. We did a Big Apple competition, which we won, which was awesome. And then sophomore year, I entered chamber choir. And that's when I was seeing that theater was a thing. And I was like, oh, what's this? Theater, drama, okay. So I was introduced then. And that's when I auditioned for my first show, which was Legally Blonde. And I did not get cast due to scheduling conflicts with choir. But it was super fun to even audition. It was really fun with Patricia Berra and Matt Horoho at the time. And I sang Reflection by Mulan. Which is that's different. That's a choice. And then my first ever show was Sister Act. Wait, no, I'm lying. Oh my goodness, what was my first show? I feel so old right now. I'm 24. Junior year was my first show, and it was All Shook Up. And I was in ensemble. It was great. It was a fun time. I was still doing choir, and then I was doing like district competitions, like all that stuff that you guys were talking about. And like senior year was my first straight play that I did, and that was Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was Helena. That was a different experience for sure, because I don't consider myself a strong actress, so that was a lot of learning I had to do. Singing is like my safety blanket. But yeah, in those like 2 years of junior and senior, I did tap dance, musical theater, jazz, and as well as opera voice training with Sarah Stead.
Oh, nice. So you've done a lot of choir training.
Yes,
You've done a little bit of theater training.
Yes,
and then you were in some musicals, and you were even in one Shakespearean play.
Yes,
Nice.
Correct.
And so, what brought you to Valencia?
So I auditioned at state competition my senior year. I auditioned for a scholarship. So they had like scouts from different colleges. They had one from London, the American Dramatic Arts Academy, and some people from schools here like FSU, NYU. And I got a call back from American Dramatic Arts, the one here in New York and London. And I got a scholarship for a few thousand, but it does not cover much. So, needless to say, I did not end up there. But the stars pointed this direction to Valencia College. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Valencia. It's being covered, thankfully. Thank you. Shout out to FAFSA. So, that led me here. Like, I was like, this is a good choice. And everyone has been super great here, welcoming, a lot of good resources, great shows that they put on. I mean, beautiful auditorium. Dare I say, like one of the best in Orlando, but I could be biased.
And have you taken theater and music classes here at Valencia?
Yes. I took acting 1 with Tim Williams, and let me just say, acting is, like I said, not my strongest point. And it was a learning curve. Like, it was it's a lot. A lot goes into acting that people don't like expect, especially now. I feel like people are getting into acting. Musical theater is like spreading. The word is spreading. So like it's raising in popularity. And I'm like, so much goes into acting that people don't realize until you sit in an acting class and you're told to do these things that make you feel uncomfortable. Like, it's really stepping out of that comfort zone. But it's super fun. Like, this is definitely what I love to do, and I'm going to do. If I have to work at a Ross for the rest of my life and do shows at my community theater, that's where I'm headed.
That's awesome. And are you currently a student?
So I'm not currently a student. I did not finish due to FAFSA. Shout out to them again. But if they want to hear this and help a girl out, that'd be great. But sorry. But yeah, I plan on finishing, so you might catch me here in the fall again.
All right. That's awesome. Okay. So we only have 5 more minutes. Thank you so much for all of you for joining us here today. What did you guys find interesting about doing the show?
This or artist in
This radio show right now.
I think this is the longest us 5 have ever talked
In the same room.
Because usually rehearsals are like, hey, it's pretty cold outside.
Yeah.
I like your Starbucks cup. Yeah. Oh, we're singing now? Okay. And then we get into rehearsal, and then I think other than that, it's like, oh, this person's practicing like their part in a song. Do you want to split off and go to a different room so that we can practice? And then after that, it was like, see you tomorrow.
Limited conversation is the consequence of 6 rehearsals.
Yeah, I really appreciate getting to know you guys better.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you here. I've got a rapid fire list of questions. Oh, God. So we're going to try to answer them as quickly as possible.
Lightning round.
Yes, it is. Lightning round. Okay, so you can answer them one at a time. But if it seems like we're stumped, we're just going to move on to the next question.
Gotcha.
Okay, so fill in the blank. Creativity is
Cool.
Jumpy.
Inspiration.
I don't know.
You stumped.
Passionate.
passionate. I love it. Okay, what motivates you the most?
Us as a person or a character?
You as a person, as a human, as a person pursuing theater who had the bravery to come audition for a brand new musical. What motivates you the most?
Experience and end goals. Growth.
I think my old teacher, Mr. Traver, really is one of the main reasons I'm going into theater as a planned career. Yeah.
All right, so he motivated you.
Yes, him. Yes.
If you do it for free, that means you love it. Keep doing it.
My father.
Awesome. In 1 to 3 sentences, describe your favorite creative project. So we're going to reduce that to 1 sentence. Ooh. What is your favorite creative project?
Wait, like in general?
Ever. Just in general. Yeah, favorite creative project.
Sharknami, the musical that I just recently did. Amazing.
I'm going to have to go with my production of Guys and Dolls. I played Benny South Street, and it made me feel validated in what I was doing.
Orlando Shakes, TYC, Love's Labor's Lost earlier this summer.
Fantastic. And what made you feel, what made it your favorite?
The fact that it felt like the directors definitely pushed us, and it felt great to work alongside with them. They didn't feel like it didn't feel like separated, like they weren't. Like, it didn't feel like directors up at the top and then actors. It felt like we were working with them rather than we were working
Felt like
for them.
peers.
Yes.
Awesome. We're moving on to the next question. What is the best or worst advice you've ever received regarding your creative field? So, yeah.
Be a lawyer instead.
Was that your best advice or the worst?
That was my worst advice. Shout out to my parents. Let me live, please.
Oh.
My best advice was, like, even though it's not a serious field, for most people, because they always say get a backup, I would say keep working towards it, and make the right moves, make the right choices, and use your tools. Use your tools.
My best advice was if you can put your mind to it, you can achieve whatever. And I know it's a quote from Back to the Future, but it's one of the best quotes ever.
My best advice was don't screw it up.
My best advice is, if you were to pass away tomorrow, would you regret anything that you did today?
Nice. Okay, and Name one thing that you are deeply grateful for right now. And this is really fast because we have 20 seconds.
Family.
Family.
Family and Madeline Painter.
Friends and this opportunity.
Meeting new people.
All right. Guys, thank you for joining us on Embracing the Bold. I'm so glad you chose to listen today. And please do join us in our season. The Artist and the Scientist will play live in the East Campus Atrium, that's in Building 3, on Saturday, October 21st at 7:30 p.m. and on Sunday, October 22nd at 2 p.m. It is a 2-hour show, and it is completely free. So please come out and join us. These students are really bringing these characters to life in a beautiful way. And we look forward to seeing you next time on Embracing the Bold, where you learn all about the School of Arts and Entertainment humans that make up this fantastic school.